Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Breaking Butterfly podcast. If you are new here, very special welcome. I am so grateful you're here. And if you're not new here, welcome back. I'm also so grateful that you are here. Today is a hotline episode, and I am so freaking excited. It's been so long since we did a hotline episode, and these questions that you guys sent in are really good. Like, so good. I posted on Instagram yesterday to have you guys send in your questions, and I picked three to answer today. But I do hotline episodes every once in a while, so you can submit your questions at any time. Like without me asking, the link is in the show notes. You can just click it, submit a question about a specific topic. You can ask for advice about a specific scenario in your life, a relationship in your life, or you can ask personal questions about me and my life. And it's all anonymous. So that is in the show notes, hotline submission form. You get to go in and just ask your questions. But I chose three today, and I think we're just going to dive right in. I don't really have any announcements or anything like that. I'm trying to think. Oh, I do have one announcement. We have officially announced new dates for my Costa Rica retreats, Evolve. Our next dates are going to be December 2nd through the 10th. December 2nd through the 10th of this year. So, coming up in just a couple months. We still have spots available. We've just announced to the public that we are open and we are accepting applications for this new retreat. So, if you are interested in joining me in Costa Rica for 9 days of some crazy healing, some crazy experiences in the jungle, and a whole lot of fun and laughter, I'll also leave that link in the show notes. Okay, I think that's everything. And let's get into these questions. So, number one, the first question: can you provide some practices to help you get out of your head and into your heart for creating content? Absolutely. They're asking this question to the right girl. This is what I am all about. So, I have quite a few things. Quite a few things, but they're all kind of the same thing. So, I personally, okay, to get out of your head, you have to get into your heart. And a very similar energetic is getting out of your head to get into your body, right? When you are in your body, the thoughts usually fall away. So I always say to get out of your head, you either need to get into your heart or you need to get into action. And they're both very kind of like similar energetics. So I really recommend anything that gets you out of your head. It could be dancing, running, doing a workout, going on a walk, anything, any type of movement like that. But then when it really comes to like sitting down and actually creating, meditation, I would say, is like my number one go to that I recommend. So, number one is meditation to really tap into the body, to calm the mind, to focus on the breath and just get out of the ego and back into the soul, essentially. Once you are in that place, this is where kind of my second practice comes in, is service, like the energy of service. So it's, to get into your heart is literally to get into the energy of love. When we're in our head, we're in our ego. We're thinking like me, me, me. We're getting into comparison. We're thinking, are we good enough? There's a lot of overwhelm. There's a lot of chaos that comes up that happens in the mind. And it's because it's all surrounding the ego and the me, right? We're making things mean things about ourselves. We're creating stories. We're feeling bad about ourselves. We feel like people don't like us. Like all of these things come up. As soon as we get into love or service, all of that goes away because it makes it less about us and more about them, meaning our people, right? So when we start to tap into these questions of, okay, how can I just best serve my people? What can I create today that would just change someone's day, change someone's perspective? What type of content can I create that is going to make an impact, even in a small way? Questions like, what does my heart want to say? What is my heart feeling today? These are the types of questions that tap you into love and service. And that is business. That is, you know, or just like content creation in general. It's service. It's giving people value. It's teaching people about something. It's providing something that is going to completely change someone's moment or day or entire life often. So when you come back to that, that's when you can really get into that heart energy, and the ego doesn't come into mind because everything's way more about the mission and the people rather than you know, overthinking if you're like good enough, right? It doesn't matter if you're good enough. This message coming through is good enough. We are all channels, but a lot of us don't know that because our world is so noisy. Like all of the content on social media, you know, YouTube, TV shows, books, so many friends, like so many parties, so many like we have so much going on all the time. Like there's just so much overwhelm and so much overstimulation that it's very hard to tune in and listen to what actually wants to come through. Once you can, you become so much more powerful because you're not trying to be good enough. It just is good enough. It has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with what is coming through you. So that is so important to remember as a leader. Stop making it so much about yourself and allow yourself to be more of a channel and trust what comes through. If you can't trust yourself, trust God, like literally. And what's coming through you it is source. It is downloads from the universe. Like just allow that to come through. And again, for me, the way that I allow these things to come through is through meditation. Sometimes if I really need it, right? If I'm like really in my head, again, I'll do like a workout or go on a walk or do something to get back really into my body, even just like some shaking or whatever you need to just like get out of the chaos and having all your energy up in the mind, shake it down into the body, and then just sit. Like stillness is magic. It is magic. If you can just sit in stillness, even sometimes even 10 minutes. Sometimes I'll be like literally empty. Like my brain is empty. I have no ideas. I feel like confused. I don't know what to post. I'm starting to get like doubts about myself. I'll literally sit in meditation for 10 minutes and I'm like, oh, I know exactly who I am. I know exactly what I stand for. And I know exactly what I'm posting today. Let's go. And it's just like, So I actually have a free meditation called my channeled messages meditation. The link is in the show notes. If you click on Maddie's offerings, it'll be like right there. The channeled messages meditation pretty much takes you through this exact process. I don't know why I just said pretty much. It takes you through this exact process. So it's a meditation. I think it's like 20 minutes and it'll guide you through getting fully into your body, getting complete, like turning off the mind, getting into stillness. And then I'll guide you through questions that you can ask to receive channeled messages and to receive downloads from source. So it's a really, really powerful meditation. All my clients love it. So check that out in the show notes. But the third thing, so I mentioned meditation, I mentioned getting into the energy of service, getting into the energy of love, focusing on your people. And then the third thing that I recommend, which again is kind of a part of this because it's like a supplement to this practice, is the medicine of cacao. So if you are new here, you might not know this, but I am obsessed with cacao. I love cacao. I actually just posted a bunch of stories on my Instagram about how to make cacao and where to get it and everything. So if you need those details, head to my Instagram and there's like a highlight called cacao. But essentially, cacao is a plant medicine. It is not a psychedelic. It can be intense in ceremony, but it's not. It's a very subtle, gentle medicine. So it's not like, yeah, it's a essentially it's what gets processed into chocolate, but at its purest form, it's made into a warm drink. Um, and yeah, it's just the medicine of the heart. It taps you into love, it taps you into the heart space. And so it's just really beautiful for your meditations, for journaling, for even just like sometimes I drink it when I'm on client calls so that I can like really connect and be in service. It can also be a very powerful medicine to release a lot. So it can be a very euphoric medicine, but it also can bring up different emotions and help you release different emotions and different traumas. It's just like a really beautiful medicine. So I really recommend supplementing this practice with cacao, even creating your own like content creation ritual where you sit with cacao, maybe you meditate for 10 minutes, then you journal for 10 minutes, and then you create your content, right? That's how you can make sure that you're not coming from your head. You are like fully in your heart. And that's what my ritual looks like. It's like cacao, meditation, journaling, then I create. I don't do that every day. Some days I wake up and I'm just like, oh my God, it's coming through me. Like I just have so much to create and it just comes out. But very often this is the practice that I work with. Great, 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 great question. Okay, let's get into our second question. So, the second question says, what's the difference between having fun while being single and quote unquote hoeing around? If I have fun, does that mean I have no self respect? Great question. So, my opinion on this, I don't even like the word hoe. Like, I just don't even like that word. I think that the number of people that you sleep with has nothing to do with respect or disrespect. Really. I think it's all about intention. You could have sex with 100 people and all of them be very deep connections and it was for like a certain reason, a good reason, and it was for pleasure and it felt good to you and you really liked this person, right? And you have self-respect. And then you could have, on a different plane or someone different could have sex with 10 people and it's all for the wrong reasons. Maybe they didn't even like this person. This person was treating them very poorly, but they just felt like they had to have sex. They felt like they were, you know, what's the word, like obligated to have sex, or maybe they were trying to get something, or maybe they were being spiteful, like I only had sex with this person to make this other person mad or to prove that I was good enough, right? So, when people talk about a hoe, it's like, it's usually an amount thing. It's like, oh, she slept with so many people, she's such a hoe. I just don't really believe in that. I think do your thing, have fun. Like I would say do whatever the fuck you want, literally, without worrying what other people are going to think. But just be conscious and be intentional. I do think that sex is a big deal. Like literally it's such an intimate experience. Like so 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 intimate, and you're sharing this like sacred creative energy. You literally have someone inside of you. Like you're showing someone parts of you that no one else gets to see. I do think there should be like some intention, right? But the intention also could be just to fucking have fun. Like literally just for pleasure. I think where it gets dangerous is when you are putting yourself in situations where you don't want to do it, but you're doing it for like a reason that's not empowering, right? You're doing it in like spite or for your ego or for like to receive something that like just isn't it doesn't feel empowered. I just wouldn't want you to slip into a place where it's hurting you more than it's benefiting you, right? But I mean, girl, if you're single, and you want multiple lovers and you love having sex and you enjoy that and you want to keep enjoying it, like I no, the last thing that I would call you is a hoe. Yeah, it's more, I feel that that word is so negative. It's so like, what's the word, like derogative? What's the word I'm thinking of? Derogatory? Like it like I don't even know if that's the right word. It's just such a negative word. So for me, like to think, oh, someone's hoeing around, it's like negative. Like you're doing negative things. You have a negative intention to with all the people you're sleeping with. As long as you're in positive intention, you're taking care of yourself, you're not sleeping with, people that are disempowering you. I say go at it. I say do your thing. Genuinely. I just did a podcast last week about Love Island, and I apologize if you're not a Love Island girl because I'm about to talk about it again. But they did this game. It's in Love Island, USA, the latest season. And essentially, they all like guess each other's body counts. And all of the guys, like have kind of like higher body counts, like 20, 30, 50, 70. This guy even has 75. And the following question they ask is, what do you think is an acceptable amount for your girlfriend to have? What's an acceptable body count for your girlfriend? And all of them said like 10. So this guy slept with 75 girls, but then he said, my girlfriend's only allowed to have slept with 10. What the fuck? Like, that is, I don't know, that's fucking crazy. Like, the double standard. And for them to even write that is so embarrassing. Like, wouldn't they have thought, like, oh, I'm going to be on national television? Like, maybe I shouldn't say that, like, oh, I've slept with 100 people, but you can only sleep with 10. That is fucked up. I thought that was absolutely absurd. So, if we don't call men hoes, then like I'm not going to call girls like hoes. Like, do whatever the fuck you want. Just take care of yourself. Okay, great question. Okay, and then the third question is, can you give some advice to someone who is struggling to evolve yet dealing with high amounts of stress? I'm trying to grow a business while being in debt and juggling work, life, and growing the business. Okay, I love this. So, first of all, you like stress is, what am I trying to say? Like, we should not be stressed. It's very, very important that we do not feel stressed. Stress literally creates disease. It makes us like actually physically ill. Like, we could die earlier and not experience as much life and not experience health and wealth because we're stressed. Like, this is the number one cause of so many horrible things happening in our lives. So you've got to get the stress under control in the most loving way. And, you might think, okay, well, I can't quit my job. I can't quit doing other life things, cleaning my house, dealing with my family. I want to grow my business to make my life better. What do I do? Well, my advice is to get creative with the ways in which you can eliminate stress. Let me give you an example. This is like a very little thing, and it might seem like so little that it seems like silly or stupid, but it's not. One thing that like eliminates stress for me is having all of my bills automated. Not having to like go online, pay a bill, pay this bill. I have to think about, oh, okay, what day is this bill coming out? Is it coming out on the 4th or is it coming out on the 2nd? Like, even when me and Henry moved into our new house, he was like putting on the fridge like what days our bills came out, and I literally told him, I was like, babe, I cannot have this on my fridge where I come down first thing in the morning, make my tea and start my morning. I don't even want to think about those things. Like, they are just automated. Like, they just come out. And that, again, it might seem little, but it's something that I've put in my life that it just like eliminates some stress. Another example could be like, in which ways can you just take a little bit off your plate? Maybe every month you have like a housekeeper come It's honestly not as expensive as you think, and it's worth the money because if it's eliminating your stress, it's literally adding decades of possibly decades of life onto your life. You could get like a housekeeper, having like all your to-dos very, very organized, having a Google Calendar that keeps you very, very organized. Um, Other examples, I'm trying to think of some that I do that just like take off a little bit of stress, like asking for help. Like if you're trying to do everything around the house, like what I'm trying to say is there might be little things that you're doing that actually add up, and it's like making you more stressed and more overwhelmed than you need to be. So at work, like if you're taking on too much of a workload, just like asking for help, just being like, hey, I genuinely like I can't take this on. Other things like setting boundaries with your messages, right? You might be able to handle, work and growing your business, but then every time you get home, you spend an hour, being on your phone because you have all these notifications popping up and you have all these little red notification bubbles on your phone. And you just like, it's like your phone's just like always dinging, always going off. Set some boundaries, be like, okay, I only answer, non time sensitive messages on Sunday nights, something like that. And then the rest of the week, you just turn your notifications off and you tell your people, if you really need me, call me. And that's just like a boundary for you. I've found that when I feel like super stressed and overwhelmed, a lot of times it wasn't even my workload and the tasks, it was like the little things in between, like that, like all of the messages that I can see. And it's just like overwhelming me. When it comes to growing your business, how can you make things so simple? You don't need to be on Canva for hours creating different graphics. You don't need to, be writing these super, super, super long captions every single day. How can you create efficient content, which is usually like B-roll content with hooks? How can you be more efficient with your content to just like streamline it? Streamline it. Your content should not take you more than like an hour a day, right? There's all these little things. Look at your to-do list and be like, do I actually need to do this? Is this actually going to help me make more money, grow my business? And if not, like, what are you doing? Or like take care of myself. Is this going to help me take care of myself or grow my business? Right? Work stuff stays at work. Like really look at your personal to-do list. Are you adding things on there that are just unnecessary or that you could delegate? I don't know if this person has like, if they live alone or if they have a boyfriend or whatever, but like if you have a partner, if you have like a family, get people on board, start delegating, start giving, a fucking chore sheet for people. Just look at like the little nooks and crannies of your life, the little tiny things that you spend like a little extra, even simplifying your outfits and what you eat, right? Steve Jobs wore a black turtleneck every single day because he said he didn't want to spend any energy on trying to choose what to wear, trying to pick out an outfit, because he wanted to save his brain energy for more important decisions. So that just tells you how much how much brain energy that is actually using. Like it actually takes effort to pick out your outfit, to think about, oh, what am I going to eat? What am I going to have for breakfast? What am I going to have for lunch? Start to streamline things and just have it be simple. Lay out your outfits for work for the week. Have like the same breakfast every morning. Have like a simple, coffee every morning. Just really simplify. It's like simplify and make things more efficient. Simplify, make things more efficient. Oh no, my computer is going to die because I forgot to plug it in. Hold on, people. But yeah, like my life literally changed so much when I started doing this. And you might be thinking like, "Oh, I don't really have anything that I can take off my plate. Like I just am like so booked and busy." But I guarantee there are. Get creative. Get super creative. There are ways in which you can make things just easier. So that would be my advice to you. And also just go at your own pace. Like, don't, you know, everyone has their own journey. Other people have different privileges. And, you're doing the best with what you have. Literally, just do the best with what you have. That's all you can do. And just don't stress so much about how long it's going to take or what the timeline looks like, because that could also be causing a lot of stress, is literally just your own internal pressure that you're putting on things, right? A lot of times the stress isn't in the actual actions itself, it's in the thoughts that we have around it. It's in the beliefs we're holding. It's in the pressure we're putting on things, right? Like, what if you could go a whole entire day, not change anything about the day, right? You just go through it, but you are just like completely carefree. There's like no worries. You're not overthinking. You're not comparing yourself. You're not worrying. You're not stressed. Well, I guess, yeah, you're not worrying. Like, right, there would be no stress. The stress isn't actually in the action itself. It's just what we're thinking about it, the stories we're creating around all of it. So, look at that as well. It's like, okay, yes, there's things I can take off my plate. Yes, there's things I can simplify. Yes, I can ask people for help. And also, am I just stressing myself out because I'm putting a time constraint on it, because I'm putting this like pressure on things to happen in a certain way or in a certain time? And can I just like lay off the gas a little bit and just like chill the fuck out? So that's what I would advise for you. Okay, those are all the questions that I chose for today, but I would love to do another hotline episode soon. So if you want to leave your question, again, it's in the show notes and you can submit whatever you want. And there's a chance I will share it and answer it on the podcast. All right. I love you guys so much. I hope you have a beautiful week this week. And I will catch you guys in my next episode. Bye.